Professionalism, to me, in one word, is respect.
It has to do with how you carry yourself, what individuals see on the outside, the way that you treat others, whether it's a client, a customer, or another realtor professional.
We're part of an organization that is generally considered very professional. However, when someone else or yourself does something that could be deemed unprofessional, it really impacts the public perception of all of us.
Being a member of the National Association of Realtors means you hold yourself to a higher standard. Our code of ethics and standards of practice set us apart from those who are not members and govern our professional conduct as realtors. But beyond those standards are additional issues of courtesy and etiquette you should know when dealing with properties, clients, customers, and fellow realtors. Based on NAR's Pathways to Professionalism, this video contains tips that you can follow to maintain a level of professionalism that will benefit your career and the real estate industry as a whole. Let's begin with 6 timeless tips. Professionalism begins with our first tip, the golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Number 2, show courtesy and respect to everyone. 3, communicate with all parties in a timely fashion. 4, present a professional appearance at all times. Dress appropriately and make sure your car is clean and uncluttered. 5, be aware of and meet all deadlines. And finally, number 6, be aware of and respectful of all cultural differences.
It's important that we portray ourselves in the highest light that we can be perceived.
The importance of professionalism to my reputation is the cornerstone. Without a good reputation, you have no future business at all.
It's very important to be as professional as possible and to follow the code of ethics, because this is a business that grows by referrals.
It takes years to make a good reputation, and it takes seconds to lose a reputation.
As a realtor, you have unique and trusted access to a very important part of people's lives, their homes and property. How you treat that property matters and leads us to our next series of tips on professionalism. When showing a property, remember, you need to be responsible for everyone you allow to enter the listed property. Keep all members of the group together when showing property. Never give anyone unaccompanied access to listed property without permission. Enter property only with permission, even if you have a key from a lockbox. Leave the property as you found it. Lights, heating, cooling, drapes, and so forth when the occupant is absent. Contact the listing broker immediately if you think something is amiss with a property, for instance, vandalism. Be considerate of the seller's property. Do not allow anyone to eat, drink, smoke, dispose of trash, use bathing or sleeping facilities, or bring pets without permission. Use sidewalks and walkways to avoid damaging landscaping or tracking in debris. And of course, take off your shoes and boots inside the property if the weather's bad. Although most properties you show are likely to be unoccupied at the time, occasionally the owner may be there during the showing. In that situation, follow these 5 tips to avoid awkward situations. Always ring the doorbell or knock and announce yourself loudly before entering the home and before entering any closed room. When entering a property, ensure that unexpected situations, such as pets, are handled appropriately. Ask permission before using the telephone or bathroom. Never criticize property in the presence of the occupant, and inform occupants that you're leaving after showings.
What I notice sometimes is other realtors are distracted. They're on the cell phone, they're doing something else where people are showing properties, when really they should be paying attention. So the key there is to be alert. Be alert of your surroundings. Try to find out as much as you can about the property ahead of time and try to foresee any problems that might arise.
I look at it like I am the protector in that home. It's key, it's critical that I'm always with the clients, and that I'm making sure that absolutely everything remains exactly the same as when I found it.
Real estate is a reputation business. What you do today affects your reputation and business for years to come. How you interact with people goes a long way toward determining what your reputation will be. Here's some tips to follow when working with your clients and the public in general. Identify your realtor and professional status. Leave your business card if not prohibited by local rules. Encourage the clients of other brokers to direct questions to their agent or representative. Do not tell people what you think, tell them what you know. Respond promptly to inquiries and requests for information. Call if you're delayed or must cancel an appointment or showing. Promptly explain the situation to the listing broker or the occupant if a prospective buyer decides not to view an occupied home. Communicate clearly. Don't use jargon or slang that may not be understood. Schedule appointments and showings as far in advance as possible. And finally, promise only what you can deliver and keep your promises.
We have to be very careful when we're out there. The image that we present to the public, it has to be all about professionalism.
What people see of you is how they perceive you.
The consumer is going to gravitate towards the person that is the trusted advisor, that is the one that's taking care of their needs, and that level of professionalism is a big part of that.
Your reputation is also at stake when you're dealing with your peers. Acting professionally when working with other realtors can help create the right environment for everyone involved in the transaction, resulting in a mutually respectful and successful process. In your dealing with other realtors, always be sure to identify your realtor and professional status. Promptly and courteously respond to other agents' calls, faxes, and emails. Be aware that large electronic files with attachments or lengthy faxes may be a burden on recipients. Notify the listing broker if there appears to be inaccurate information on the listing. Share important information about a property, including the presence of pets, security systems, and whether sellers will be present during the showing. Show courtesy, trust, and respect to other real estate professionals. Avoid the inappropriate use of endearments or other denigrating language. Do not prospect at other realtors' open houses or similar events. And after a showing, return keys promptly, or carefully replace them in the lockbox.
If you take care of those details, if you make appointments in the proper manner, if you cancel appointments in the proper manner, if you pick up keys, return keys, as the listing broker and the seller have set up the process, that's all part of the cooperation that we have for one another and can add to the level of professionalism for the entire industry.
I always think about the fact that when I'm working with a buyer or seller, that transaction may come around maybe every 5 to 7 years. But when I'm working with my fellow realtors, I might have another transaction with them next month.
Professional conduct and respect for property, the public, and your peers are key blocks in building your reputation and a successful real estate career. Also, remember that the way you are perceived affects how all realtors are perceived.
You've joined one of the most professional organizations that you could possibly join, with enormous political power, enormous support. Being in that organization requires that you take the responsibility to act professionally.
We have that high standards of how we conduct ourselves, and it becomes habit, then every day you're earning the reputation and earning the credibility that you have as a realtor.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this presentation. Together, we can all build an industry of respect, professionalism, and success.